Guys, and welcome. My name is Arron Cooper and welcome to a brand new video here today upon my channel, guys. Today we're going to be doing a best class setup for the XR-2 assault rifle in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer. I think this weapon is absolutely amazing, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it's a great auto burst weapon and it is so effective in gunfights. I'm not gonna lie. But as you can see up on the gameplay, I'm using this with the Dark Matter Camo. It doesn't really matter what sort of camo you use for the weapon. I see it as it's not going to affect the way you play, but I see it as I'm rolling with the Dark Matter Camo for my best class setup videos. It took so long to get this camo, but it feels so rewarding. Anyways, let's jump into the attachments and optics that I use for this weapon. I only tend to use the reflex sight for this weapon, because I find that when I'm having to go into gunfights and I'm aiming down sight and I want to pop the enemies off or want to go on a nice little killing spree, I find that the reflex sight is the sort of scope that works so effectively with this weapon. Or if it is that you don't like to use scopes much and you're really good using iron sights, either use the reflex sight or the iron sight. That works either way for this weapon, because I find this weapon is brilliant either iron sighted or with the scope. When it comes to attachments, I see it as I only tend to use two attachments for this weapon. I use a quick draw because obviously when it gets to gunfights you need to be able to aim down sight rather quickly and being able to take out the enemy before they get a lock onto you. So I see it as I use a quick draw, so it's easy to, you know, get into them gunfights, pop off the enemies and then move into a different sort of line of cover before maintaining my sort of killing spree before I go towards earning my score streaks. So I find that's pretty useful, so use a quick draw and it really is really useful for this weapon. Moving into my second attachment, I have got extra mags, because obviously when you've got extra mags for your weapon you're going to have more bullets when it comes to each clip, and I see it as when you want to go on to maintaining a really good gun streak, it's always good when you got a lot of ammunition. So for this gun I recommend equipping an extra mag. You don't need a grip or anything for this weapon because it is extremely accurate as it is, but I do recommend obviously equipping an extra mag because it's going to help you in the long run when it comes to maintaining big streaks and obviously going on a massive gun streak. And trust me, it is really useful for this weapon. Anyways, moving into the secondary, I tend to use a launcher quite a lot, so either use the XM53 or use the Black Cell. I see it as that it becomes really useful when it comes to wanting to use the points that you can get from these streaks. So obviously if an enemy has got a UAV in the air and you blow it out the air, you've got some points that you can use towards your next streak. So I see it as with the launchers, I use them as an advantage way to earn my score streaks even quicker. And I see it with the Black Cell, you've got more ammunition in it, so I tend to use the Black Cell more than the XM53, but it doesn't really matter what sort of launcher you use, but use it wisely. So if the enemy's got UAVs in the air, counter UAVs, or anything that's either in the air as a streak or on the ground, obviously if they've got Cerberuses or Guardians, use your launcher, take out their sort of equipment or their score streak that they've got around up on the map, and I see it as with the launchers you're going to get more points and it's going to help towards your score streaks, and obviously if you get on a few kills with it you can help to maintain your score streaks even quicker. So always make sure you equipped a launcher, it really does help you out quite a lot. Anyways, moving into the next sort of stuff that I use for this setup, guys, I don't use any lethals or any tacticals unfortunately, but I do use a good selection of perks. So moving into perk 1 slot, I use Overcloak, because obviously as when you're using your specialists, as it is, you want to be maintaining your specialist ability or specialist weapon rather quickly. And the main sort of ones I tend to use quite a lot of, I do tend to use Annihilator quite a lot, I use Combat Focus quite a lot, or I tend to use the Purifier. But I see it as if you want to go on some massive good gun streaks and obtain your streaks even quickly, and you want to be getting up to that big streak, that main streak that you tend to use quite a lot of. Let's just say you're one of them type of Call of Duty players that aims for them super high score streaks like the GI unit or the Power Core or even a Mothership for instance. I recommend that you do put Overcloak on, because I see it as if you've got Combat Focus on and you use the Anti-Up, which is in my perk 2 slot, you're going to have a little bit of a bonus, and I see it as for Combat Focus, if you're popping off enemies left, right and centre, going on a nice little gun streak, you're getting even more of a bonus added to your score, so then it comes really well towards your next upcoming streak. So I use Combat Focus quite a lot for my specialist, so it's a really good, awesome specialist ability, so I recommend you try it out for yourself if you haven't already. For my perk 2 slot, like I've just said, use Anti-Up because it works so effective, because when you spawn, I see it as you get a little bit of a boost when it comes to your scores, so you're a little bit closer towards your next, well, your first upcoming streak, And as it is, if you get a couple of kills, maybe a few assists or something, or capture a flag or something, guys, it's going to help when you want to get your streaks rather quickly. Anyways, for perk 3 slots, I use 2 streaks, so it's going to come really, really useful for this one. As it is, I use Engineer and I use Blast Suppressor. Obviously with Blast Suppressor you're going to be jumping around quite a lot, sliding and everything, and as it is, without Blast Suppressor you're going to be viewable up on the radar. So when you're on your minimap during a game, as it is, that little circle marker that comes up on the minimap, it means that you are using your abilities like your super jumps and stuff, and you're boosting left, right and centre around the place, and the enemies can see that as well. But obviously with Blast Suppressor it doesn't come up on the minimap, so obviously your enemy's not going to know where you're jumping or when you're sliding, so you're going to remain hidden when you're using it. So I recommend you always use Blast Suppressor on any of your best class setups that you guys do in the near future. So any of your loadouts, make sure you do use Blast Suppressor, it really does help quite a lot. But for Engineer, I see it as my little tactic I use when I want to obtain XP rather quickly when it comes to games, especially on double XP weekends. A lot of people I know always put on super high streaks, and they see it as they just make their way towards them streaks. But when it comes to things like double XP weekend, I tend to use very low streaks. There's a reason why I do this, because the 3 main streaks I use, especially on double XP weekends, is UAV, Care Package, and I use Counter UAV. Or sometimes I'll switch out the Counter UAV for a Cerberus. Because the fact is, with Engineer, when I get a Care Package, I see it as, let's just say I got a UAV from a Care Package, and I didn't want that UAV. With Engineer, obviously you can booby trap Care Packages. That if you pick up an enemy one, you can booby trap it, so when the enemy comes across to try and collect that Care Package, it's going to blow up on them, which is really, really, really useful. And as it is, but with Engineer as well, if it is that I got a UAV from a Care Package and I didn't want it, I can also switch it for something else. So from my experience when I've used this perk when it comes to getting Care Packages, I've switched out things like Counter UAVs and UAVs, and I've got a RAPS, or I've got a Wraith, or a Hellstorm. Sometimes I've had really good luck and I've got a GI unit, which is quite awesome, because just think about it, right? You get a Care Package which hasn't cost you quite a lot in the game to get. And you know what I mean? You've obtained a nice little score, you've got yourself a Care Package, you decided, oh no, the Care Package drops into the game, and you've got yourself a UAV. Nah, I don't want that. Switch it out using Engineer perk. Oh look, I've got myself a RAPS or a GI unit. That's going to help me a lot when it comes to mating and a lot of kills. I'm going to summon that bad boy into the game. So I do recommend that you do try out Engineer, it really works well for me. And obviously for your wildcards, you need to be able to have an extra perk slot for your loadout, so obviously when you can have an extra one for your perk 3 slots. Anyways guys, if you enjoy this best class setup video, I hope that it helps you quite a lot. If you do check out this sort of like loadout for yourself, if you want to try it out, then feel free. Hopefully it's going to give you the best of luck when you are dominating a multiplayer with it. It works so well for me, and I hope that it works really well for you. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, I really would appreciate it. Leave some comments down below in the comment section. Hope you all enjoyed the XR-2 best class setup video, and I'll catch you all again real soon on another brand new video. See you all then.